Hi everyone, Dr. Jeff here with you today. Weather's starting to turn. We're finally out of ice storm weather and back into some sort of spring and summer. So a lot of people are now walking around. So I thought today we'd talk about how do you get a good walking shoe. Well, a good walking shoe is something that's going to be lightweight. It's going to be comfortable to wear. When you have it, you're going to look at the shoe. You want to make sure you get something that's going to really support your Achilles at the back here. This one has nice cushioning back there. You want to make sure the shoe has a good heel cup. So it's going to be nice and stable. It's not going to be too bendable. You don't want it to be flexing back and forth. You want your heel to be locked in there. Then you're going to look at it is to make sure it's not too flexible. A good pair of long distance running shoes, you can actually bend the heel to the toe, but a walking shoe you want to be very, very stable with it. You also want to get something with a good insole in it, and you want to make it removable. So the reason you do that is that if you're getting an orthotic down the road, you can put the orthotic in. It also means you can take this out and you can wash it. So it gets nice and clean and get the smell out. You might want to look at the insole too and see if it's made of foam or if it's made of gelatinous material. That might make it a little more comfortable, a little more shock absorbing. This one here doesn't have that, but something like a gelatinous or a foam might make it a little more shock absorbing for you. When you're looking at the bottom of the shoe, look at the sole. You want to have lots of grooves in it. You want to make sure it's not going to slip. You know, when you're walking, when the pavement's a little wet or anything, make sure it's got good grip. And it's a non-slip shoe. Look at the toe box, so you have lots of room in the front for your toes. When you're buying a pair of shoes, the best place to do is, don't buy them online. Go to an actual professional place, so whether it's the running room or Runner's World or someplace that actually knows about shoes, and get them to measure your feet for length, for width, even the height of your arch. Whether it's a high arch, you got a low arch, you got a neutral arch. That's also important because certain shoes are designed for over-pronators, over-supinators. So you want to get the rightly designed shoe for that. Right. Also, make sure you take the socks you're going to wear when you're walking around, because you want to make sure the socks are fitting the shoe the way you want it to fit. And make sure they measure both feet, because usually a person's going to have one foot a little longer than the other. You want to make sure you get the shoe that's going to fit the longest foot, so it's not too tight. When you do get it, you want to make sure that your big toe is between 1/2 inch and maybe 1.3 centimeters from the front of the shoe to make sure it's fitting properly. Once you get the good shoe, best thing to do is take it home and walk around the house a little bit. Just break it in. Make sure you're feeling comfortable with it. That way, if you need to take it back at all, there's no scuffs on it, and the stores are much more inclined to take it back and exchange it for you. Once you are comfortable walking, when you start to go out walking, you have to realize that the sidewalks and the roads are all graded to let the water run off it. So one side's always a little higher than the other side. So when you do go for a walk, if you're walking down one side of the road, when you come back, walk along that same side of the road. So when you're walking a grade this way, then you're going to walk on the grade this way. That's really going to help with your hips and your knees and your back. You're not going to get so sore. Your IT bands aren't going to get so tight. We have something called the runner's scourge, which is people that run all the time on trails or on grades. What happens is the one hip is always higher than the other. And what happens is their IT band gets very tight to the point that their knee and their hips get very sore. So always make sure you're walking on the opposite side of the grades when you're going for a walk. So if you're walking in a circle, make sure that halfway through the circle you actually switch sides of the road. If you have any questions about shoes or walking or anything like that, you can always email me at jgoldsworthy@goldsworthywellness.com, or you can talk to me on Facebook. I'm Dr. Jeff. I've got your back, and I'm worried about your feet.